Radical.
Okay, CDs versus DVDs. On this same day on Flea Marketing, I realized, maybe it took me too long to realize, that having almost one whole long black table devoted to DVDs, it just don't work. It just doesn't work. Yes, and the day before this, talking about this Sunday, Flea Marketing, on Saturday, my biggest DVD customers, they spent $20 there, and they said that they would be gone for about a month. And there's some days where, unless they're there, I don't sell any DVDs. And on this day, on this relatively busy day, I didn't sell a single... Excuse me, sorry about that. Dropped the phone. Make sure I'm still recording. Okay. I didn't sell one single DVD. I barely got any looks at the DVD, even though a whole table left side was filled with DVDs, right? I must have had maybe like 10, maybe not 10, maybe 9 or 10 full trays. And each tray holds 25. So that's over 200 DVDs there. Had some Blu-rays too, but I didn't get any looks. Sometimes I do get some sales on the Blu-rays and everything. So those versus the CDs. You would think if you had over 200 DVDs versus 10 CDs, you would sell more DVDs. Well, if you thought that, you would be wrong. I sold 2 CDs. I had various people question about if I had any more CDs. And I get it. I do. Now, the value of a CD versus a DVD is this. Generally, it's kind of funny. DVDs are more expensive than CDs. And you would say a DVD is superior because it has video and audio, especially a Blu-ray. So you would think that, but you would be wrong. Because here's the deal. Unless you're dealing with maybe a box set of Lord of the Rings or the Alien trilogy, or a really nice box set that looks like something people want to collect, maybe it has lots of artwork and different postcards and all kind of good stuff and everything. Unless you're dealing with a collector's edition, like the whole collector's edition of like Rocky or Star Wars or something like that, or any of these things. Maybe they have like little miniature figurines in the collection. Remember, Ghostbusters had a big movie box collection, right? Unless you're dealing with something like that, and it's just the vanilla movie. CDs are going to be more sought after because they're usable. You can use a CD every single day. If it's your favorite CD, if you're rocking out to something, it's your favorite band, that's going to get some use in your car, in your CD player. And it's just kind of cool to have a CD. You cannot match the coolness of a CD that actually has the insert and the actual disc as the artist intended you to see. It's just, a CD is like a little tiny work of art, little tiny work of art. Nothing can replace that. A fucking digital file cannot replace the awesomeness of a CD. We're not talking about like a cassette or an 8-track. No, CD it's a perfect little disc. It's just perfect. It is. They're so cool, right? I like them. Now, they're not as convenient as maybe a USB drive filled with digital files. They're not as convenient. But it's different. It's a different feel when you take out a CD and put a CD in. It's just different. It is. I don't know how to explain it, right? A lot of people would say, that there's no use for CDs right now. Digital has eclipsed CDs. But I think people will not accept, maybe they'll have to, games one day. People will not accept games one day as being all digital. They will still want to have some physical representation of a game. They want some physical representation of a Mario or a Zelda or a Halo or whatever. They'll still want something that tells them they bought it, like a physical something. When it comes to DVDs, I think they're kind of easier to let that pass because of something like Netflix. But there's certain forms of media that people just prefer to have it physical. Games is one, I would say, and music is one, I would also say, just to have it, just to own it. Now, as far as the sales, I sold 2 CDs. Maybe I forgot to mention DVD versus CDs. I sold 2. I sold one CD that I was listening to 2 days ago, testing it out in the car, driving around. It was MTV Return of the Rock, Volume 3, I believe. Had some Godsmack on there. Had some Disturbed. Had Marilyn Manson. Had some groups I never heard of. Had Young Nickelback. This was even like before they had that song in the Spider-Man movies. So, yeah, that one sold for $3. I was happy to get a sale on a CD for $3. So, CDs ain't worth none. CDs worth a quarter, 50 cents. No, $3. That's a good price for a good product. And I even replaced the jewel case. And how cool does that sound, right? Jewel case. That's what they call them, right? Just like the PlayStation 1 games came in. That's just really cool. I also sold a siphon filter for $5. I had 10 on it, but, I let the guy have for $5, not a big deal. I didn't pay a whole lot for... No, it came with a PlayStation 1 I got on Goodwill for about $25 with GTA, so I didn't have a lot in it and everything. It was a nice looking copy of Siphon Filter also. Had a couple of scratches on it, but worked good and was complete and everything. And the thing about the jewel cases, not to get off of what I was talking about, they tend to more have the insert on the jewel case than maybe a DVD case for a game. I just think it's more common to actually come across one, not to come across one, that doesn't have the shit. I am sleepy. Woo, I am sleepy. I'm going to wrap this thing up and everything. If you're wondering, and this is days later and everything, when I recorded this a couple days ago, I was quite sleepy. So DVDs versus CDs. I think CDs win. I think it's very clear that CDs will win that. Because, like I said, I had over 200, maybe 250 DVDs, taking up a lot of space. And I had a little spindle, not a spindle, but a little display that had 10 in it. Just 10. And I sold 2 out of 10, man. I'm thinking to myself, damn, what if I had 30, 40, 50 in a giant tower? But also, here's another thought to myself. I was thinking, maybe part of sales is actually how you display something. Well, it's definitely important how you display something. And if I had the room and I had a wall, maybe putting the DVDs on a wall where everyone could look at them left to right might work to sell them a little better. But the way the way the CDs were displayed was in a tower, and the tower was really cool looking. Had not black, but silver legs, and then it had the blue blades. It looked like blue blades. This thing looked nice. And it caught your eye, basically. So that's half of the sale. If you catch somebody's eye on something, all you really got to do is close the deal. Because if they're looking at it and they're smiling, as long as you keep them engaged with it and the price is not too high, they're probably going to buy it, or they're going to come back and buy it later. So I think I'm going to downsize the DVDs, what I display. The days of me, putting out a lot of DVDs and some of the movies, just kind of crossing my fingers going, well, maybe somebody might like that one. It looks interesting. No, it's going to be all killer no filler on the DVDs. All killer, no filler. I might just do 2 or 3 trays. Maybe 4 at maximum. And when people ask, do you have any more DVDs? I say like, well, there was a time when I brought about 200 to 300 here, and people weren't really that interested. So this is some of my cream of the crop. And I'll do it like, hey, ask me if I have a DVD, and then I'll bring it. Because that's way too much. I'm almost wasting an extra table, on something that will not sell. So I'm going to minimize that. There was a time maybe I needed the DVDs to fill in space, but I don't. I have a ton of game stuff now. I have TV screens taking up one side. So 3 or 4, I'm going to whittle it down to that. We're talking about big hit movies. We're talking about Dumb and Dumber. We're talking about Transformers. We're talking about Star Wars, Spider-Man, Fast and Furious. We're talking about things that people are probably going to want to see or own. And they'll say, damn, Vin Diesel, okay, Tobey Maguire, these are actors that I know in these movies. But, Transit with Jim Ezekiel or whatever the fuck it is, yeah, it's sealed. It's complete sealed in box. But nobody really gives a damn about these no-name movies that are knockoffs of these other movies. So the question is, am I going to throw away these knockoff movies, or what am I going to do with them? They're just kind of taking up space. So I might do grab bags on those. Maybe like, 10 for $2, like in a grab bag just to get rid of them. That's an idea, isn't it? You like that idea, grab bags, huh? That's kind of fun. How about a gaming grab bag? Somebody gets it, and it's 10 games. I tell them it's 10 games, and then they open it up. Ah, shit, 10 copies of NHL Hockey 09? I'm like, listen, bitch, I didn't say they had to be 10 games different. It just said it's 10 games. So have fun with that. If you scratch up a copy of NHL 09, then that means you have 9 extra copies. Look at it positively. Hey, lady, look at it positively. No, I'm not going to give you your money back. The grab bag, it's a mystery. Hell, the next one might have Red Dead Redemption or GTA in it. You never know. Probably not, but you never know.